to Souls on Tap. I'm Julianne Thon.
And I'm Jennifer Cross.
Today, we would like to welcome April Pierce, who supports her clients in generating health using a scalar energy device that is called the Spooky 2. I love that name, which is a unique bioactive energy field that supports the body's natural healing and balance. Thanks for coming, April.
Yeah,
Hi,
I'm
April.
very, very thrilled to be here. Thank you.
Jennifer wasn't with us last week, so it's nice to have you back, Jen.
Thank you. It's
Nice
nice to be back.
Although it doesn't look like you're doing too bad where you are.
Not so bad at all.
So you have an amazing background. You are really have a background more so in traditional medicine, which is always a really good thing when I believe when people go from traditional medicine into, in the name of brevity, woo-woo healing, right? So tell us about how you transcended from traditional medicine into what you do now.
So the woo-woo was never really there before. So I've had 26 years of nursing that I have pretty much spread myself from bedside nursing, supervising, working from home after COVID hit. So I've been well balanced in the nursing field. I've worked for, all aspects of care. And then all of a sudden, I started to get interested in, it would be really cool to make my own medicine. So I got into this little subscription service where they sent you the herbs and the bottles and the seeds and everything to with a book to make your own medicine. So I started with that, and then started getting interested in crystals, and then started watching Gaia, started watching things on YouTube. It just kind of snowballed. And by doing that, it seemed like other people started gravitating into my radar. I got a massage, and she turned out to also be a quantum touch healer. So it just went from one thing to another. And then I saw an interview with John White, who is the guy over Spooky 2 software. And I was on my phone ordering the equipment, and I didn't even fully understand what I was ordering. I just had this kid, when you're a kid and you're watching commercials when you were little and you were like, oh,
I want one.
Yeah. And that just kind of happened. It was very strong. Like, I don't even know what this is, but I must have it. So that's
so
kind of how it started. And I didn't really know what I was going to do with it. So I started learning one thing at a time. It's like, okay, I'm going to learn how to do a biofeedback scan. Got comfortable with that. Okay, I'm going to learn how to write a program. Got comfortable with that. And then I just kept, it was just crazy how I just felt drawn to that I needed every single thing. And I just started paying off one thing, getting another one. That's kind of how I rolled from nursing into, and I still work as a nurse part-time.
Okay.
But it's not something that I feel like I ever cut off. It's just really helpful when I'm talking to a client and they're telling me their symptoms. Also, I tend to pull into a medical intuitive, and I get impressions or get guided to use certain frequencies, think outside of the box. And so I feel like I use all of my tools now while I'm treating patients.
So for those of us that are unfamiliar with what the Spooky 2 is and how it works, can you tell us what it does in the realm of energy and with frequency healing, including, I understand, remotely?
Yeah, that's probably the one that I have the hardest time selling. Even the ones that are spiritual have a hard time. I mean, I'll be honest, I had a hard time grasping the concept as well. And I always tell people, I'll explain it as much as I can, but if you really want to know about quantum entanglement, watch a YouTube interview with, a physicist that explains quantum. I'm not a physicist, but I know how to drive the bus.
And
I
good luck
understand it.
good luck understanding what they're saying.
Yeah, I mean, but that too, but I just never try to present myself as I am on that level. I understand it just enough and I understand it well enough to incorporate it and use the equipment.
Yeah.
I can't go there because I'm not a physicist, but I can understand. First of all, the reason they named it Spooky Two is it's based on Albert Einstein's theory of spooky action at a distance.
Yeah.
So he picked up on the fact that when you do something to one part of a body or an organism, that it's never really ever separate when you separate that. That's why
Mm-hmm.
I think that you have the phantom pains and stuff when people
Mm-hmm.
lose
A
appendages.
limb, yeah.
But he picked up on that. Now, explanation above that, I'm not really the person to talk to, but I can work the equipment and I can use it efficiently.
Okay. Thank
So,
you.
you want me to explain some more or
Yeah.
just
Well, what are these things that you have behind you, and how do
okay?
you work them?
Okay. So this you don't have to have. This Spooky Central is basically a part of the machine that allows you to use everything at once.
Mm.
So you have to have a generator that hooks up to your computer. Basically, the generator has 60,000 different frequencies that you can
Okay.
use, and they're all labeled. So if you typed in, you know, diabetes, you could find frequencies and it will explain what those frequency helps balance. There's two different modes with spooky. There's a killing and a healing. So
Mm.
if you had COVID, you
Uh-huh.
had a sinus infection, you would want to use a killing mode because it's kind of like when an opera singer sings a certain frequency and it shatters glass. You want that frequency that will dismantle that organism, that frequency of that germ. So that's how the killing works. And the healing aspect of it, it helps to bring that back in balance because when the system's out of balance, then it opens up the disease to happen to begin with. So it's more of a balancing that frequency.
So
Um,
is that the Rife part of this?
yes, that's
The
the Rife
royal,
machine,
uh-huh.
the
Okay.
Royal Rife. He mainly was working with microscopes,
Mm-hmm.
looking at those organisms, and then he
Yeah.
discovered that with certain frequencies that it would kill that. So
Yes.
that's kind of where that goes. These actually come from Royal Rife's actual. This is a plasma
Oh,
ball, and
that's
this has got two different electrodes, and you would use this. It's filled with helium gas.
uh-huh.
You would use this to focus in if you had like a bad knee that you wanted to just target individually, or cancer tumor, anything that you wanted to just isolate that energy to, you would pick this to use. It's the strongest rough equipment that you can get. This is a photon tube. It's got argon gas in it. It works the same way, but the tube style you hang over the body and it treats the whole body. So if you had something that you wanted to treat throughout the whole entire body, you would pick this to use.
So you
So
can
that's,
I'm sorry to interrupt, but can you do
yeah.
that that remotely also? Like, do you use your intention to say, okay, somebody's got a tumor in their stomach, and you use your intention to place that
I
over
mean,
their stomach?
I could do that as an energy healer, but with equipment, you have to use the remote for distance. You have to use the remote. So what you do, you would get a sample of their DNA.
Okay.
There's a little chamber in here, and you would put their fingernail clipping, saliva, whatever it is you wanted to use. Actually, this is a dry remote. There's something else for wet samples.
Okay.
Um, so, like you would get, like I've got some ones here. It's a little fingernail in this paper, and I put it in. This client actually asked me last night. He was having back pain, so I put this in the remote, pulled up my program, and I found the one that works for him because there's not just one choice for things. There's multiple frequencies. So for him, I went to the back pain and inflammation, ran that all night long, and I have not heard another peep from him. So, and that usually means we're good now. One time he couldn't walk. He had a walker that he was using. He texted me later and he said, "Was you running the frequencies on me remotely?" And I said, "Yes, I started about 20 minutes ago." And he said, "I just realized I got up and walked to the kitchen to get a drink and I don't have my walker with me."
Oh,
Oh, wow.
wow.
That's amazing.
So, yeah, I mean, there's been story after story of my clients personally that um, it's just hard to say it doesn't work, because I see, even when they don't know that I've started it, like he didn't know, um, I see the reaction and the results. So it's really pretty
Yes.
amazing. So basically, I'll treat people that doesn't live close enough to me to see me. They'll mail me in a fingernail sample. Um, I'll put it in the remote. I do remotes very cheap, because basically I just have to watch it and make sure, the power don't go off, or, and
Uh-huh.
I'll run those treatments for them. And we kind of have an account set up. I have a truck driver that I treat very frequently. He's on the road all the time. He's not able to come in and see me. And he'll text me and say, "Hey, my leg's hurting. Can you help me out?" And I'll start his treatment.
And I just want to say that I didn't know April at the time, but about a year ago, I had a scalar treatment done on a family member.
Mm-hmm.
And the individual that was doing the scalar process was in somewhere in Texas, and I live in Colorado.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe what I saw happening to my family member. I mean, the healing was tremendous, just tremendous. So remote does work.
It does. And that's how I use it with the Rife machine. Now, the scalar from Spooky 2, there's actually two of these boxes. One is a receiver and one is the transmitter. So it works off of quantum energy as well. It can be used remotely in a different way, but it can be done. I just choose to use the DNA sample. One thing about this, it is molecular. So there's a coil in the scalar. First of all, I explained the scalar is like 0 point energy. It's quantum energy. So it basically is, I always explain it like to my clients, it's like you're at a food bar and your body has all this food, like all this energy available to take what it needs to heal itself. And, your body's constantly busy with trying to keep up homeostasis and the germs and your temperature, your hormones, like it's busy. And so this is like a work crew just come in and they can help out. And so it's just been amazing to just let people lay in the scalar. And most places charge hundreds of dollars for you to come in and just sit in a recliner in this healing room. And I'm not saying it's not worth it, but I just don't choose to do that. I choose to make that a part of my treatment session. I don't charge any extra for the scalar energy. That's just my preference. So
Nice.
you can also put crystals and their properties on the coil. So if you needed quartz energy or something that you normally like, it will take that energy of that quartz and it will pull it into the energy field. You can also use essential oils. So if you wanted lavender, rose oil, any type of essential oils, because they also hold a very powerful frequency, you could incorporate that into the scalar. And then the neatest thing that you can do is this is some Nexium or omeprazole, sorry. And you can take your medications and put them on the scalar. So if you were diabetic,
Oh, wow.
you were
That is
diabetic
great.
and you wanted your blood sugars to go down a little bit more, you were having trouble. I've had clients to use their metformin or their glipizide, whatever medication they're on, put it on the scalar, sleep in between the scalars at night, and see some pretty interesting results. So it works on a molecular scale as well, but you don't have to use it. It's just a bonus. So that's pretty much how I incorporate it. Like I said, I just use it as a bonus, and I use the Rife machine to customize or do biofeedbacks. So if you come to me and you wanted to know, I want a biofeedback scan. So what that does is I hook up the TENS pads, and you put one on each side of your abdomen. You run the biofeedback program, which takes about 20 minutes. And then it comes back with this report on the top 10 frequencies that you need that it found was out of balance. And what's interesting about the report, a lot of people they think it's going to shoot out a little receipt and says, you've got diabetes, you have heart problems, you have COVID. It doesn't work that way. It tells you what frequencies are out of balance, and it tells you if left unbalanced, this is the things that you could have result from that imbalance. And what's really cute is, people will look at the list and be like, oh, I had that. Oh, yeah, I did have an episode of that. I had this yesterday, so it's neat to see them look through the list and be able to associate, yeah, that must be out of balance for me because I'm having some of these issues. And on the other sense, I try to tell people, don't think that you have all these 20 things. If you're a woman, you're not going to have testicular cancer, even if it's on the list. It's just showing you the frequencies, if left unbalanced, what it could create. So it's a little different, but I do find it more of a tool to confirm what the client thinks, where we're heading. Especially, it's nice to use after you do the scan. It does a 30-minute treatment to correct those imbalances. And if you constantly, when you run another one, if you see that those are gone and you have another 10, because it only shows you 10 at a time, then it gives you that confidence that that must have been taken care of. And then if I see something that's still there, like lupus, Lyme's disease, cancer, those are things that are not going to be easily corrected after one treatment. And then that's something that we would hone in on a customized treatment.
So what if somebody is born, it's already in their DNA and they're born with something? Can you adjust that also, or is it only things that have developed?
That's a little tricky. I do believe that if it's something that we're not meant to change, then we're not meant to change it. But on the other aspect, there's so many frequencies that surprise me that are in the program. Um, and a lot of them are for spirituality, like increasing your consciousness, getting you in touch with a higher dimension, spiritual wellness. There's so many woo-woo frequencies in that I've used as well. I'm not going to cast out that that's not something that you could do, because we all know that we can rewrite our contracts and stuff too. So I really think that I can't really give a solid answer on that. It's one of those, if it's meant to be. And to be honest with you, if someone's meant to pass away with cancer, I also don't believe that could possibly be changed if it's something written.
Yes.
So I don't go into this with empty promises. I try to be very honest about, if you're already going to the cancer center and you're getting treatments and you want to add something to that, I am here for that customer and that client's journey. And I'm not here to judge or make promises, but I'm here to help them if that's something that they would like to, to go down that road.
Yeah, we as healers really make it clear and try to make it clear to all of our clients that we are not here to judge at all, nor are we here to impede impede on their journey.
Exactly.
I need to excuse me, Jen, the question that you just asked, that actually happened with the individual that I was trying to do the scalar healing with. The energy healer in Texas said, you need to get a hold of a medium
before
I do this work on you, or whoever it was in the family, this member, and you need to find out if this is a contract. And if it is a contract, can it be revoked or is it irrevocable? And
Yes.
in our case, and I'm not saying that our listeners have to do this, but in our case, a lot of the mediums that work on the channeling Eric YouTube, you can look them up and they'll have you can pay like $5 or $8 and you can ask Eric a question. And I did that. And I asked, this so-and-so in my family is having these issues. What do you think? And the medium came back and said, it is a part of the contract, but it is not irrevocable. And then that was the green light to go.
Yeah. And in my experience, I'm told that you can rewrite your contracts, but I just don't like to make people promises if that's something their higher soul has said, no, this is the way we're going to go. So that's what I meant by that. So I just, with all of my treatments, I just try really hard not to, I just don't want to give somebody, I don't want to call it false hope, but I'm like you. I'm very careful what I say, and I present myself here as an assistant to them reaching their goals. And we're going to do that however they want to do that. If they want to know my opinion or anything like that, I'm here for that. But I feel very not everybody's comfortable with remote therapy. Not everybody's comfortable with the plasma. So we do things how they want to do it. I will give them my opinion and what my thoughts are, but number one, I'm not here to push anything on anyone and tell them, like sometimes when you go to the doctor's office, they'll say, well, this is what we're doing and this is what we're taking and blah, blah, blah. I don't want to be that. This is a team effort.
Yeah, I like that. I have another question. So you said that you're taking a DNA sample for example, the fingernail clipping. Okay, so that's your baseline, is that right? That's your baseline for somebody
My baseline
to work off of? Like that's where they're at. That's their DNA. So let's just say they had a goal to reach and they had a tumor and the tumor is gone and they've been to a medical facility and allopathic and they say you're clear, you're good to go. So does their baseline change? Does somebody's baseline alter after these treatments, these frequencies have been run through their entire system? How does does it integrate in a different way?
Okay, so once you start working with frequencies, now if I give you a frequency that does not resonate with your body, then it's not going to hurt you. Frequencies doesn't cause any issues. If it's something that needs to be corrected or killed, then that's going to happen. With DNA, I do see a lot of frequencies in the system that helps to heal and correct your DNA and create new DNA. Wow. So it's still basically the body's running the show. But as far as like when cells get old and then they're zombie cells and they're just stuck and they're causing problems, I think that our DNA can be somewhat the same way. And so, yeah, I do think that there's a possibility to correct some of the things that have been out of balance. Now, it's not going to change you into something else, but I think that it helps to clean that up. It helps for it to work more efficiently.
Okay.
Can you give us an example? You told a
So,
great story before the show started about a client you had, and her dog needed help. Can you tell
Oh,
that
yeah.
story? Because that is such a wonderful story.
Yeah. So it was when I first started doing treatments for friends, and I was actually there to treat her. And she said, I've got this 12-year-old dog that she's laying around more. She's not really wanting to go on walks with me. And she has like a gumball sized growth on her backside of her neck. And she said, can you do anything with that? And I'm like, you know, I hadn't done pet therapy before with the system. And when I first started, like I said, I was probably my biggest skeptic. Um, but every time I doubted myself or the system, I was, you know, shocked that I didn't get just good results. I got amazing results. And so about a week later, I went down to treat her. And the only thing I did for the dog is I brought the scalar boxes, which are these black ones. I didn't program it with anything. I just let the healing scalar energy run, and the dog didn't even I didn't even have to put the dog in the scalar. Like she just walked over in between the scalars and just laid down, like, you know.
Aw.
And so about a week, yeah, about a week later, it's about 5 to 7 days, she texts me a picture of the tumor on her neck. And she said, I've been wanting to tell you that I wished I took a picture of it before you treated it, because now look at it. And it went from like a gumball down to like an M&M size. Felt when I assessed it, felt more fatty tumor. Didn't feel like cancer or anything like that. So I'll say that. And she said, and my dog's been more active. Her hip doesn't bother her. She's been going on more walks with me. And yeah, I mean, it's surprised me too, because I didn't even really get invasive with it. I just let her sit in the scalar that one time.
That's amazing. I love stories like that. We all just absolutely
Yeah.
love
And after her,
things.
I retreated a duck. I've treated cats. I have one
oh,
cat that I do his remote. His mom cuts his little fingernails and mails them to me. And
Oh, that's
so,
great.
yeah, so I have plenty of pets that I do therapy on.
that's
So
so awesome.
I have another question for you. So we know that there is a universal truth
Mhm.
that planet Earth is going through a huge change right now, switching
Yes.
dimensions from third dimension to fifth dimension, which has somewhat of a domino effect, but the collective consciousness among human beings definitely is being raised.
Yes.
All that said, do you find a pattern right now in terms of the type of individuals that come to you that need healing? Are you seeing something interesting going on there?
Hmm. Well, first of all, my guides tell me um, I really don't advertise that much, and I don't send mass friend requests out to people because they tell me they'll find you. That also keeps my content and my viewers very clean. You don't have those people making comments that, that disrupt things. Um, but yeah, the people that come to me are usually very spiritual, open minded. But then I also take that in consideration when we, sit down for a conference or talk about things. Again, I always start with their comfort level, um, because I understand some of this does seem a little much. So we'll start simple at first. But usually, after they see the first few things they do, they're excited. And there's been so many people I've been able to help push through to a higher spirituality, a higher understanding, and really eye opening
Great.
to a new world. And it's very fascinating and exciting to see that change happen.
Mm.
And that we're all a part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. But I also understand that I'm not for everyone. And I honor that too. Somebody wants to say low frequency and they want to do what we've always done, and that's their path, then I'm not going to be trying to persuade someone. So that makes it very exciting for me when people come to me, because I already know that they're already open minded.
Yes. And I think that another really amazing and beautiful aspect of the work that you do is that you, like that beautiful pendant that you have on, you
Yes. Mhm.
infuse crystals and jewelry and that holographic
Yeah.
um, sticker kind of thing that you have with the frequencies, and people can just have them with them all the time. And I think and you can do that for like a dog too, right? Put it on their
Yeah,
collar or
I've
something.
actually done dog tags similar. They look kind of similar to this. Let's see.
Yes.
And then you can put the little thing there, and they can hang on their neck. Usually, I'll do like uh, pesticide detox because they're outside, they're sniffing the grass, and chemicals get sprayed.
Yeah.
You can also do it for fleas and parasites. The dogs, the ones that I mainly treat or do pendants for, are the ones that are, scared of storms, anxiety, those type of things. So yeah, I discovered that it first started out just doing the stickers.
Uh-huh.
So what they are, how we went back from this. The holographic into the CDs for the computer allows you to store data and program it. So does the holographic stickers. You see the rainbow effect. So what you do is, even if I had not seen a client there live in Alaska, and they tell me, I'm having trouble with stress and anxiety, I can't sleep, um, I need some frequencies for high blood pressure, diabetes, and then I would program the sticker by putting it in the remote. So just put it in the clamshell, run the programs, and then I put it into the back of the jewelry. So I would stick this in first, and then I would glue a stone. Is what I preferably like to use, because why not get the benefits of the stone as well? So you could use like kiwi jasper is very calming for anxiety, stress relief. So I try to either let them pick a stone that calls to them, or use a stone, or advise to get a stone that would benefit them as well as the program that's in it. So some people like necklaces. Some people, this is what I call my Apple Watch like band. It's waterproof. You've got your stone there, and you've got your program.
Right.
So if you want to be a little bit more, dressed up, we've got other types of jewelry. I do not buy very expensive jewelry, because I like to sell these for $30, and I don't. I just there's something important on my mission at making, holistic care affordable for everyone. It's
Yes.
not something for people that have money. That's why I don't charge money for the scalar treatments, because not everybody can afford $300 to go sit in a room and get healing. And I just believe healing is meant for everyone.
Yes.
So if somebody wanted something more expensive, then we could probably just order that and do it as a, separate order. But generally, I buy very cheap jewelry that I can just charge for basically my time programming the stickers. And if someone wanted to wear the stickers, that's what I kind of started out doing. I would just program the stickers and then have them to use like a clear dressing, like a Tegaderm. And you would put your sticker that's programmed on the Tegaderm.
Ah,
And then you would just put it wherever you wanted to on your body. For me, my lower back, I have problems, and that just worked really well for me. But if you don't like jewelry, or you don't want to wear jewelry, there's that option. The only thing is, just like this lovely CD, if it gets scratched up or damaged, it's not going to work very well. And so wearing them on your body, you'll probably have to get a new one about every 6 weeks. But still, I sell them for like 6 stickers for $25, because I just cannot. I want it to be available for everybody, and I can't be available for everybody if I put $50 or $100 on some stickers. And I just don't want it to be like that. So that's how that works. And it works very, very well. So if you had a headache, you could put on a sticker. Ones that work very beautiful. I'll tell a funny story. I made my client some insomnia stickers. And I didn't pay attention during our session that he put them in his wallet. And about 30 minutes later, he's sitting on my couch and he's like, and I'm like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm just tired." And then like I asked him, I was like, "Where did you put those stickers?" And he was like, "In my wallet." And I'm like, "No, get them away from you." And he had like 4 of them. And it had literally like just about knocked him out, because I program it for like lavender and chamomile, but I also program it for delta brainwaves.
Oh my gosh.
And so he was so tired. I had to get him away from him and wake him up so he could drive home. And I was like, "Put them in your back seat or the trunk, And he was like, "Well, you can't say they don't work." So I always do those individual. I don't combine them with a sticker, because I had another client that was wearing his insomnia stickers during the daytime. And I just told him, put them in your pillowcase, that way, but that was very funny that he had gotten so sleepy.
So
and it just dawned on me.
I just want to clarify some things for our viewers.
Yeah.
So they don't have to have a crystal or a gem or a sticker in order for this to work, right? Scalar waves, we know from Tesla. If anybody wants to know about quantum physics,
quantum entanglement,
look up Tesla, because he was really the father of it. And then, of course, the government shut everything down that he was doing, because he was on the track to helping us understand that we all can supply our own energy. And that wasn't
true.
That wasn't going to work. So
no, they did the same thing to Royal Rife as well.
For those, right. So for those who are really having a hard time wrapping their head around, no, wait a minute. You have a machine there. I'm in Alaska. You're in Alabama. How are those healing frequencies going to get from there to here? Can you, in less esoteric terms, explain that to those of us who are lay people?
Yes. So I don't usually use the scalar when I do remotes, but I do know that there is possibilities to do the quantum entanglement with the scalar as well. What I do is I'll use a DNA sample. It can be a piece of hair, as long as it's got the little bulb on the end. Fingernails are just easier for me to keep up with than strings of hair. So I usually do those. And there's also these plates that are for wet samples, and you put the specimen in the black. So, you can even do, if someone's with me, a blood sample, and then you put them in the machine. And the way it works is that, let me find that fingernail. Well, I don't know where I put it, but you put the fingernail sample into the clamshell of the remote. Clamshell of the remote is hooked up to the generator to the Rife machine. So if you called me and you said, "Hey, I've got a really bad migraine and I need some help," then I would go pull your sample from where I keep them, labeled, and I would put it in the remote, and then I would get on my computer and I would type in migraines, and I would build a program to submit those frequencies to your DNA sample. And there's the sample. They look like this. put the names on it, put your sample in, get on my computer, write the program that I want to send you. And it sends the frequencies to your fingernail. So in turn, based on quantum entanglement, which means that you're never really truly separate from yourself because no one else has this DNA, what it receives and the sample you also receive despite the distance. And that is Albert Einstein's theory of spooky action at a distance. It's really crazy and it works and it's amazing. And I have a truck driver that is never home, and he will call me and say, hey, my leg's hurt. And hey, he's got restless legs at night. He's also has peripheral vascular disease, gets swelling and numbness. And I will also made him a pendant, but sometimes he overdoes it at work and he needs a little extra something. So he'll call me and I'll do a remote treatment for him.
So none of this work that you do affects you at all negatively. That's awesome
No,
too.
especially the remote. The only thing that affects me negatively, if I choose for it to, is I am an empath and a medical intuitive, and I can absorb other people's energies. And I have to practice spiritual hygiene because it's not that I will absorb their cancer or their restless legs, but the energies of other people
Emotional
tend to jump on
energy.
me.
Emotional
Yeah, it tends to
energy.
jump
Really.
on me like fleas.
So again, typically people who call themselves healers are usually empaths, and we all have to be really careful of that and practice spiritual hygiene because we can pick up on that. Whatever energy they're emitting, we can pick up on.
Yes, the sadness and the despair,
Right.
Frustration. It all comes along with why they're here to see me, because they've been to the doctor and they've been to the chiropractor and they've been all these places and they're very frustrated because they can't seem to figure out what's wrong. And I had one lady that she had a lot of mucus on her vocal cords and her voice was severely affected. They wanted to send her to Birmingham. They wanted to send her to Vanderbilt. They wanted to send her all these places because no one could figure out. She did the therapy. She did everything. And the first visit, she came to me, and I intuitively picked up on some issues that she was having. And I treated her that first day. Improved her motility with her digestion because I felt like it wasn't moving enough. And so therefore the acid and stuff was backing up to her vocal cords.
Oh, yeah.
And if that happens, our body's way of protecting ourselves is to, in the stomach, have that lining of mucus.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she had that going on. And in turn, she had the acid damage to her vocal cords that caused some paralysis, caused some voice issues, and then this constant mucus that was collecting because it was trying to protect itself. So I ran frequencies on her to improve her stomach motility, to improve the paralysis and heal that. And doing those things, I think I did a few other like muscle improvements. She was able to talk to her friends that afternoon on the telephone, and they even said, your voice sounds so much better. What did you do?
Wow. Great.
So, and I got goosebumps. Like that stuff is what excites me.
Mm-hmm. That's what it's all about right there.
What it's all about. So, I made her a bracelet so she could have those same frequencies with her because, your body is constantly in flux and trying to heal itself and trying to just balance out homeostasis. And it's a lot of processes. And as we get older, it's just not as efficient as it used to be.
Right.
And so by her having the frequencies on her 24/7, it would just help the things that I was programming for to continue to be there all the time. And it's not something that is absorbed through the skin. It doesn't work that way. You have an aura in your body that's, about 3 foot out above your head, below your feet. As long as that frequency is in your, 3 foot space in your pocket, it doesn't have to be touching your skin, then you're getting that frequency. And so, why not? And if you don't like to wear jewelry, that's why I do the keychains, because it's just so easy to slip in your pocket, you know. Um, so I
My
kind of try to
my
fit
son
something for everybody. Mhm.
my son used to separate his energy would separate a lot. So his physical body would be here and he'd be hanging out up here, and he needed a lot of grounding. So I used
Mhm.
to take not onyx. What is the other black?
Hematite and obsidian,
Obs-
and there's
obsidian.
another one. Uh-huh.
Obsidian, and I would put obsidian underneath his bed. And so
Mhm.
obviously that way, and I would slip it in his pockets too to take to school. But
Yeah,
yeah, and I could tell he just slept better when the obsidian was underneath his bed and obviously not touching his skin. So I know that
exactly.
works too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
the
great.
report on the biofeedback also comes back with the frequency of essential oils that will help maintain your frequency that you need corrected. So, if it has it on your, let's say it comes back with frequency number 10 is out of balance, it might show you that black seed oil is the same frequency to help balance that out. So, that's pretty interesting for me to see that too, that the real importance and how the essential oils work is based off their, not their smell as much as their frequency.
Who put these frequencies together, this list of, 10 is this and 24 is that? And
Well, all I know, I don't know if there was somebody before um, John White who done the spooky too, but I do know that the Chinese medicine had initially put together, this rock is for this, and this stone is for that. So I'm thinking it's more ancient than just the spooky two equipment. Um, but it's very nice that in John White's interview with Spooky 2, he says he was told to make this equipment affordable for all people because it's not his information, it was given to him. And I believe that he has had help outside of this planet to, just like Tesla and others, to help humanity. And I just think that's amazing. And when you think of med beds and those types of healing devices, they work off scalar and rife, frequencies.
yeah.
Yeah, we have another healer friend, Jennifer and I do, that is it really, she sells the med bed and also essential oils, and she just has seen an amazing healing effect
Mhm.
happen to the people that she has sort of imparted this information to. It's pretty amazing
Yes.
stuff. And I really believe that so many of our guides and spirits that have traveled from Atlantis that existed,
Mhm.
physically existed at that time,
Yeah.
I think they're imparting their information to those of us who are trying, like yourself,
Yeah.
who are trying to apply this in today's world.
Yeah. And people are, like you said before, their vibrations are raising, their consciousness is expanding, and they're picking up on more of these ancient things that we've just forgotten,
Right.
you know?
Yeah. Yes.
It's all about the remembering.
Yeah, and like colors have frequencies, music
Absolutely.
has
Right.
frequencies. Um, I don't believe that me and Shoals Healing Frequencies is the answer to everything. That's why I work with other healers. I don't believe there's one right way. I believe there's no reason why you can't incorporate all things, based on what it is you resonate with and what you feel drawn to. Um, So I don't believe there's one right way to heal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Exactly.
we often ask our guests, as you just brought up, April, we ask our guests, do they work with other healers, uh,
Mhm.
sort of symbiotically? Does that work? So
Yeah,
that's great. I believe the more the merrier,
yeah,
as long as one isn't canceling the other out, and
exactly.
that balance and both frequencies
Mhm.
can exist together.
Yes.
Um, then
So the whole reason why I have a business is because I was led to, I kept hearing One Stop Shop and the Seven Sisters. And it took me a long time to figure out what they were trying to tell me. But I want to bring my community a place to go, no matter what they're searching for. And as long as I know the healer and their intentions, and they also want to focus more on helping people than money, they are welcome to see clients with no charge for rent in my building, because I want, it's just something that's been laid on me, is that holistic care, I want to be affordable for everyone, not just the rich. I want everyone to have access to experience something they're pulled and they're needed to experience.
Yeah.
very, very good.
Yes.
So how can people get in touch with you?
Well, I have my own website, shoalshealingfrequencies.com. And then I just got a booking app that kind of does a website where you can book through the website. And then also I have a direct phone number that's listed online, and I'm on Google as well. If you search for Shoals Healing Frequencies, you can find all the contact information, even where you can send me an email asking for more questions or asking for an appointment.
That's great, because I really urge our viewers, excuse me, to go to your website and check that out. I will put that information down in the description box, and it'll also be under your photographic box there too, as well.
Okay.
So that people can, because, let me just tell people right now who are a part of the show, you don't have to understand quantum entanglement in order to for this to be an effective type of healing for you.
Yeah.
If you want to learn more about it, then go to her website, look up Tesla, look up Einstein. There are books right now that are written for people like myself, whose brain moves very slowly when it comes to physics. But just understand that April is here to make a difference, and that her ability to be authentic, we talk a lot about that on our shows, is wonderful. And I just have to thank you for everything you're doing for our community and to help raise the collective consciousness. Yay!
Exactly.
April, if you had, if you could have one empowering thing to say to our listeners, what would you say to them before we end this?
Well, the one thing that I make jokes about, but it seems to be a really true problem, is that you'll have clients who have went to the same doctor for 20 years and the same chiropractor and the same, whatever that they've been going to for their health care. And they'll tell me, I've been seeing Dr. Smith for 10, 15 years, but I ain't never got any better, and they'll give old medicine that much of a chance. But then they'll come to me and they'll say, well, I will give you a chance, one chance. I hear that a lot. I tried massage, it didn't work. I tried one time Reiki, it didn't work. And I just want to say to everybody, just give holistic care a little bit more of a chance. Because yes, I have those clients that come to me and, like the dog, the one-time treatment, see something miraculous. But if you're really working with a cellular level, you might not see what's actually going on as instantly as you would. Like with depression, it might be a little slower before you
Sure.
actually pick up on, hey, I'm feeling less depressed. So I just kind of really urge people that are interested to give it a little bit more of a chance.
Yeah.
Don't be on a short leash with it. And just because Reiki doesn't work, maybe frequency works. If frequency don't work, there's other things. And like I said, it's I don't believe there's one right way to heal. So that would be the encouraging thoughts I would like to share is um, just give it a little bit more of a chance than you did your traditional medicine.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you. I think that's very sound advice. Yeah.
that's a beautiful message, and it goes right with what we are trying to do at Souls on Tap. We're trying to bring as many modalities as possible to help individuals to heal. And are you guys there?
I'm here.
That's very strange. You know, speaking of scalar healing, did she freeze?
Yeah, she's frozen.
Okay. That's what it is. I thought I heard something. I was looking at my notes.
There was a noise
Yeah, it was
and
like a low vibration.
yeah.
There was something that was going on with her too, which is always very spooky too. Which
Oh,
here she's coming back. I don't know if you saw her, but as she was talking, her picture was vibrating back and forth. It was coming in and out of focus.
yeah, I did see that.
But it was different than like something going out of focus. It was a different kind of, it was very, very
Woo woo.
interesting. Well, yeah, very. April, are you still there? Well, Jennifer, tell everybody about our directory and how April will be on that directory too. They can also get a hold of her that way.
Okay, hold on one second. I need to remember what our
Oh, what
you're
our
gonna have to edit this. What is it? Is it www dot Souls on Tap podcast, right? It has podcast in it, right?
Right.
Okay. Okay, ask me again.
So Jennifer, can you tell everybody quickly about our directory that we have on our Souls on Tap website and how April will be on that directory?
I sure can. If you go to www.soulsontappodcast.com, you will find a directory of all of the people that we've had on our show, every episode, and how to get in contact with them individually. And we will continue putting everybody that's on the show in this directory, and pretty soon it's going to be huge.
Yeah, it's already growing.
Yeah.
We're pretty proud of it because at some point that's going to be a directory for everybody because you're going to find whatever ails you, you're going to find some interesting modalities to check into.
Yes.
So thank you to all of you who are tuning into Soul on Tap. Thank you also for those of you who have already subscribed. If you enjoy today's episode, please be sure and like. And those of you who haven't subscribed, please do so and hit that notification bell so that you'll never miss a drop of wisdom. We would love for you to share any thoughts that you have and add any type of healing modalities that you'd like us to showcase. Because remember, Jennifer and I are here for you. So until next time, stay curious, stay connected, and we'll see you on Souls on Tap.